Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because we are about to explore a literal architectural marvel. We're going to look really closely at something you carry around with you every single day, yet you probably rarely think about in terms of its incredible engineering. We are talking about the functional architecture of the human skull. It is an absolute masterpiece of natural design. And honestly, by the end of this Explainer, you're going to see the human head in a completely new, fascinating light.
Section 1. Anatomy of the Head, a 3D jigsaw puzzle.
So, to truly understand this puzzle, we really need to shift our perspective away from that single, solid, spooky decoration you might see around Halloween. Instead, let's look at it as a highly intricate, perfectly interlocking 3D jigsaw puzzle. It's a dynamic structure, made of individual pieces that come together to perform incredibly specific jobs. The most fundamental way to understand this is to split it right down the middle based on function. On one side, we have the cranial bones. Their primary job? Surrounding and protecting the brain. Think of this as the vault. Then, on the other side of our comparison, we have the facial bones. These actually form the physical structure of the face itself. You can think of this as the facade. The vault and the facade. Two distinct zones, two critical functions.
Section 2. The cranial vault, the brain protectors.
Okay, let's dive right into this heavy-duty security system and spatially map out the four primary, most easily visible outer cranial bones. First up, the frontal bone. Just like it sounds, this is at the front, essentially your forehead. Next is the parietal bone, which forms the top roof of the skull. Moving down, we have the occipital bone right at the very back base of the head. And finally, the temporal bones, situated right beside the ear. If you imagine a motorcycle helmet, you've got the front visor, the top dome, the backplate, and the side ear guards.
The hidden inner bones.
Now, if you were paying really close attention just then, you might have caught something. We just mapped out four outer cranial bones: frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal. But our source explicitly notes there are 6 cranial bones in total surrounding the brain. So what about the remaining pieces of our 3D puzzle? Where exactly are they hiding? Well, I want you to imagine peeling back those outer layers we just discussed, literally removing the top and the sides of the helmet, and delving much deeper into the skull's inner architecture to find those missing structural supports.
Now, what's really interesting about this inner architecture is that we find our 5th puzzle piece, perfectly tucked away, the sphenoid bone. It sits anterior, meaning just in front of the temporal bone. It's this incredibly complex, butterfly-shaped bone that acts almost like a wedge, binding the whole base of the skull together from the inside.
And that brings us to the 6th cranial bone, the ethmoid bone. Now, our source makes a very specific point to call this one out as being notoriously difficult to visualize. And look at its coordinates. It's closer to the midline, posterior or behind the nose, and inferior to or below the frontal bone. It is tightly wedged right in the deep center of your head, basically separating the nasal cavity from the brain. It's totally hidden, but structurally, it's absolutely vital.
Section 3. Structuring the face, the facade.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the face is essentially constructed from the top down. Step 1 is the nasal bone, which forms the hard bridge of your nose. Step 2 drops down to the maxilla. This is a massive foundational piece that connects the nose, the cheekbones, and anchors literally all of your upper teeth. Then Step 3 sweeps out to the sides with the zygomatic bones, which you probably know better as your cheekbones, providing width and structure to the entire middle of the face.
Section 4. The moving jaw, the anchor.
All right, so we've got the vault, we've got the upper and mid face constructed. Now, we need the anchor. This is the ultimate foundation of the lower face, and uniquely, it is the only freely moving part of this entire 3D jigsaw puzzle. This is our 4th key facial bone, the mandible, simply known as the jawbone. It's this strong, heavy, horseshoe-shaped bone. It holds your lower teeth and shapes the entire bottom contour of your face. Think about it. Without the mandible, we couldn't chew, we couldn't speak, we couldn't express ourselves fully. It really is the dynamic counterpart to the static upper skull.
But here's the thing. A moving part is completely useless without a hinge, right? So, the crucial point is right here. The TMJ, or temporomandibular joint. Look at that name closely. Temporomandibular. It is the exact spot where the mandible, our facial jawbone, connects directly to the temporal bone, our cranial side helmet bone. It is the ultimate bridge that marries the facade perfectly to the vault.
Which brings us to the end of our architectural tour. From the protective dome of the parietal bone all the way to the hidden depths of the ethmoid, down through the maxilla and hinging at the TMJ, every single piece has a distinct purpose.
So I'll leave you with this. How does appreciating this flawlessly engineered, perfectly interlocked 3D puzzle change the way you view the human face the very next time you look in the mirror? Thank you so much for exploring with me today, and keep questioning the incredible world right beneath your skin.